at this amazing water rescue. This dog is actually pulling this person to safety. But don't worry, they're not really in danger. This is actually a sport, and a serious one at that. Welcome everybody to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. On this gorgeous day, we are in Union, Connecticut at a wonderful sporting event. Meet Sue. She is a judge, and these are water tests. And it's the Newfoundland Club of New England's 40th anniversary.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
we're surrounded by Newfies.
we are.
And the Newfies are competing in water rescues.
The Newfoundland Club of America, which is the big parent club, decided that they wanted to preserve the instincts that the Newfoundland had for water rescue. So they came up with a set of regulations to run a water rescue test. And if the Newfoundlands pass, they can earn titles in 3 different levels, and each level gets progressively harder to do.
It's only Newfoundlands.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't realize what powerful swimmers they are.
They are. They're very powerful swimmers. They don't dog paddle like most dogs do. They have webbing between their toes, and they spread that webbing, and they take very powerful strokes and do more of a breaststroke than a doggy paddle.
And of course it's fun, but it's also serious.
As I said, the Newfoundlands have a unique instinct for water rescue. They were used by fishermen hundreds of years ago. They used them on the ships to rescue people that fell overboard. They would also send them into the icy waters up on the island of Newfoundland in Canada to pull in their fishing nets. So we wanted to preserve that instinct that the breed has. And that's why we continue to do these tests to preserve this. Some dogs have more instinct than others. Some need a little more training, but they can all do it.
And that's kind of the beauty of it, because in some of the runs, they didn't always listen, but really they did a majority of the time. Let's
Yes.
explain to people what we're seeing. I see a little bit of obedience on some, and it's different levels too, you
Yes,
said.
the junior level has obedience. They want you to demonstrate that the dog is under your control when it's near the water. And then they do retrieving. They do a rescue of someone pretending to drown. They will go out to rescue a boat that is pretending to be stranded. At the senior division, they have to jump off boats, which they don't do in the junior division. And they jump off the boat to retrieve an article, and then they jump off the boat to rescue their handler that has fallen off the boat.
Do they get trophies? How does that work?
They earn titles on their dog. The junior level is a water dog title, so they call that a WD. The senior division is water rescue dog, and that's WRD. And the excellent level is WRDX.
The people that are here are just pretending to be drowning.
Right.
But if, God forbid, there was, they could do that.
They absolutely could. A lot of countries, England, Italy, Australia, they actually use them on the beaches as lifeguards.
I have seen that, which
Yes.
is amazing. I also heard a story about when they jump out of helicopters into the ocean
Right.
and save people that way as
The
well.
Italian group does that, yes.
It's something you can do with your dog and get involved, and I can see the dog loves it. They can't
Oh,
wait
they
to
love
get
it.
into the water.
And if you're here when my dog goes later today, he bounces up and down when he gets on the beach.
If somebody wants to get in touch with you and learn more, maybe join the group,
They could contact the Newfoundland Club of New England. They would put them in touch with our working dog person, and they could tell them who in their area is doing training groups, and they could link them up with them.
fantastic. Oh, this has been so great. And the area is just, this is an old Boy Scout camp, right?
It's still a Boy
Pomperaug?
Scout camp, Camp Pomperaug. They're very nice about letting us rent it for the weekend.
Well, stay tuned, because when we come back, we are going to actually see some more of these fantastic
Yes.
Newfies. You're just going to love this. And we're also going to meet an artist who maybe your dog might want to go see and have some portraits
Yes,
made.
that'd be nice.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Sue. We'll be right back.
Stay. Wait.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. We are still on location at the New England Newfoundland water tests. That's a mouthful, right, Tom?
It is.
This is
Definitely
Tom
it
and his
is.
beautiful babies, the beautiful girls. We have
Yes.
Molly and Haley.
Yes.
And they are competing in 2 different levels here. You're starting with a junior here. Let's explain.
That's correct.
But now we
she's
have...
in her first water test.
Okay.
She's 14 months.
This is Molly.
This is Molly.
So she doesn't always get it, or?
No, she doesn't always get it. That's right. She got half of them right, and then probably tomorrow she'll do maybe even all of them. she's doing pretty well for being 14 months.
She is beautiful.
The other girl is Haley,
Right.
and she's 6 years, and she's testing for excellent.
The highest level.
That's the highest
right?
level.
So what does that mean, reaching that top level? What exactly does she do to get that?
To achieve the top level, she's going to have to bring in a boat that's abandoned. She's going to have to rescue somebody who's under an upturned raft.
Wow.
She's going to have to rescue 3 swimmers who are away from the boat. She has to jump off the boat and then recover the swimmers. And then there's 2 swimmers who are behind the boat, hidden, calling for help. She has to go find them and bring them in. And then she has an unconscious victim. So there's a person floating upside or on their back in the water, and she has to go out and grab that person and bring her to shore.
It's
So
amazing.
it's fairly complicated. There's a lot of swimming.
Amazing. Okay. I want to show you something amazing now. We met an artist who
Okay.
does these 3D paper, beautiful portraits. Shall we take a look?
Sure, let's do that.
Just take a look at these amazing works of art. I mean, I can't even believe how creative people can be, but we are lucky enough to have tracked down the artist. This is Emmanuel Jose, with one of his adopted babies sitting on his lap. She's so cute. This is Coco. Her sister Dottie is running around.
Yeah.
And we're really sitting in front of some of your wonderful, wonderful pieces, and very unusual. So let's tell people how you started and how you create these amazing pieces of art.
I started about 3 years ago after adopting our pups. And I was inspired to create a portrait of them in paper. I'd been working with paper since college as an art major. The way I'd create them is they're kind of a bas relief paper sculpture. I work from photographs and I trace all the individual paper layers. And then once I have all the paper layers cut, that's when I start to bend, emboss, and curve the paper to give them like a 3-dimensional effect. Depending on the style, I also use colored pencils.
They're so unusual. I was here for an event, and the first thing my eye went to, we're at Cafe Bark in New York City, which is a lovely place, by the way. I was just drawn to these because I have never seen anything like them, Emmanuel.
There's a lot of paper cutting artists, but yeah, not many work in with pet portraits. So
You feel like you're really looking at that dog or that cat. Many of them have maybe a favorite toy. One of them has a cone on its head. I guess they were going
Yeah.
through a little surgery recovery. Do people say to you, I want my dog to be like this, or my kitty as well, or you just envision it and then you create it?
yeah, I usually discuss with the owner about what they want, and we'll go over all the photos. And sometimes I have an idea and I'll propose it to them, and if they're open to it, they'll let me run with it.
And one that you are almost finished now is for a friend of yours who actually lost their beloved pit bull, but you've created this beautiful image. So what went into that?
My friend Dan, his dog passed away earlier this year. Her name was Rosebud, so I had the idea to create a wreath of roses around her.
And your work has been featured in magazines as well.
Last year, one of my portraits was featured in Country Living.
Well, they're really absolutely beautiful, and your pups are beautiful too, and they have been featured in a commercial
Yes.
for Cafe Bark.
Coco here was one of the stars for the Cafe Bar commercial.
So cute, they're
Yeah,
adorable.
good girl.
How long
Yeah.
does it take you to do a portrait, and what is involved for someone out there who might be interested?
It takes me about 2 to 3 weeks to create a portrait, and it usually starts with sending me high-res photos, and from then, that's when we discuss over possible ideas for the portrait and different concepts and styles.
I really love your work. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Where can people find you if they're interested?
I'm on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is Emmanuel_Jose.
This is so good, and we are delighted that you've invited us to come
Thank
and
you.
to see and to watch you in the creative process. Maybe
Thank you.
you'll do a portrait of my Inoki. Do you have enough paper?
I can always get paper. So, yeah.
So Tom, that was good, right?
Yes, it certainly
I know,
was.
he's amazing.
Yeah, I've
Maybe
never seen that before.
Is it right? Maybe after today, Molly and Haley will have their own portrait.
Very, very possible.
Now, these guys are, of course, adorable. But coming up next, we'll pay a visit to some equally adorable guys and gals in Woodbridge, Connecticut. And some of them are looking for their forever homes. Stay tuned. Lauren's Crazy Pet Show is back in Union, Connecticut. We're on location at this wonderful event. This is Barry We just saw Barry and Cash. It's the Newfoundland Club of North America's water test. And you did a great job, but there was a little we're laughing because he had a couple of little mix-ups.
Yeah, we did have a little.
It's an advanced test. This is unbelievable.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about what we were seeing there.
Well, this was the senior division of Newfoundland Club of America to get your, what they call your water rescue title. Cash is in senior. We spend a lot of time working together. This year we didn't spend so much time. And that's what happens when you get a new puppy and you're trying to train the puppy and keep your older dog
It's hard.
in tune. There were times that I left him at home because I had to train the younger dog. And I think today he kind of let me know that, Dad, you have to take me too.
And then I'll do it if you pay more attention to me.
Exactly.
And then I said, who's more tired? Is it Cash or is it Barry? For a moment there, you even look more tired than he did.
Well,
but he does other things as well.
Oh, he does. He's a great draft dog.
And what exactly is that, Barry?
Draft is when we put a harness on the Newfoundlands and hook up a cart and sometimes a sled or a toboggan.
Wow.
And we have tests for that. Just like we have water tests, we have what we call draft tests. It takes a lot of work. Just like water, it takes a lot of work and a lot of training.
Well, that's great. And we're going to learn more about drafting in an upcoming show. But right now, we're going to make a quick trip to a wonderful animal rescue and sanctuary in Woodbridge, Connecticut. Check this out. You're looking at the cutest pig maybe I've ever seen. And a little bit on the chubby side, that's Barney. And he also enjoys a bath, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm a little biased. He's my favorite for sure.
He's so cute. He's a little pushy. As you can see, Stephanie, probably I shouldn't have worn white pants.
No, it's okay.
Not the best idea. But we are here at a wonderful sanctuary and rescue. It's Halfway Home Rescue, and this is Stephanie. She's the founder. And actually, a viewer told me all about you and said you must go there, that it's such a wonderful place, and that you treat your animals so wonderfully. And these are all rescues.
Every one of them, yep.
And they come from where? All over the place.
They do, yeah. Some of these guys, Barnaby was actually rescued from a barn fire, so he was bottle fed. The bigger 3 goats were a cruelty case here in Connecticut. Little April came from a dairy farm, we bottle fed her.
And Stephanie, of course, you also have cats and dogs here as well.
We do.
And they're for adoption.
All of them, yeah.
And you have a really nice variety. So let's talk about some of the specific ones.
So right now we have a chow that we rescued from a high volume shelter in Philadelphia. She's 13. Her owners had her since she was 8 weeks old. She never saw a vet in 13 years in their home. And when she got what they considered old and sick, they left her at the shelter.
So she would make a wonderful pet for someone. And senior pets are the best.
They absolutely are, yeah.
You also have 2, they look like healers, like blue
They are.
healers?
Yeah, they're cattle dogs, the healer, blue healers, mother and son. They came from a local breeder that retired. They didn't have anywhere to put the dogs, so they wanted them to go to a rescue that was familiar with the breed.
You also have one that seems to be very feisty.
Oh, Loki, yeah. He's the healer mix too. He needs some place, actually he needs a place like this where he can just run out all of his energy every day.
So right now we're in really a special spot here, Stephanie, because
this is my favorite place on the
you
farm.
love it too,
Yeah.
right? All of these beautiful kitties will live their lives out here because this is sort of a hospice care.
It is, yeah. A lot of these guys have medical conditions that require medication several times a day and many, many more frequent vet visits than the average kitties. So.
And you find them from all over, I guess, people that maybe can't care for?
Sometimes they come in the same way as the shelter kitties, strays or owner surrenders, but we do sometimes get old kitties when their owners pass away, and it's hard to place kitties that are well into their teens.
And they're so sweet,
They
but
come in
these
and
you
live out
will
their
not
natural
adopt
lives here.
out.
No.
But you do have some that you will, but they're not in this area.
No, this is just for the guys that live here permanently.
Okay. Who is this here?
This is Vernon. So Vernon originally came to the rescue as a stray, and he had a hard time making a full recovery to be well enough for adoption. And after a lot of testing and some specialists, we learned he has megacolon. So he has a hard time digesting his food. And he had to have a couple of surgeries to correct that, but now he takes daily meds. Twice daily
terrific.
meds. Yeah, he's
gorgeous,
doing pretty
all
well.
of them. And who's this over here?
This is Peter. So Peter's owner passed away, but he had, after being neutered as a kitten, he didn't have any medical care for 13 years.
No.
So Peter had some bad teeth, a cancerous tumor removed from his leg, and he also has a heart condition. So he's an old man. He's about 15, maybe 16 now. We've got a lot of very sweet babies here.
So we didn't mention, Stephanie, we have to mention that you have cows here too. Tell me
do.
about these 2 beauties, and they're kind of affectionate, really.
They're very sweet. They were both bottle fed. They were destined to be veal, and we stepped in to to bring them home. They were 3 weeks old when they came to live here. Of course, they think that all of us are their mommies.
And what are their names?
This is Ferdinand.
So Ferdinand is
He's a
kind of
Jersey
a
cow.
pretty, oh yeah, the Jersey
Yep.
cow.
And Franklin is the black and white, the Holstein.
Oh, and they all get along because the
Yeah.
pigs are here, everybody's
Yep,
here together.
everybody has to get
Oh,
along.
Look at these, they're so precious.
It's part of the deal. If they want to stay, they all have to be able to coexist.
Ah, they're so soft too.
Yeah.
So Stephanie, let's talk about your wonderful event coming up because we want all our viewers to come on October 11th.
Yes, so it's our 14th annual Fur Ball. It's a dinner, dance, silent auction, and 100% of the proceeds benefit what we do here on the farm. We do have tickets available on our website, halfwayhomerescue.org. We also have a telephone number that's answered daily by volunteers, 203-985-8338.
So thank you so much, Stephanie. Love what you do
Thank
here.
you for having
And boy,
us.
they're all just so cute.
A happy family here.
Happy. Wow, they're all so cute. That is so wonderful. When we come back, we're going to learn a little bit more about the amazing Newfie breed. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, everybody. We are still here at the New England Newfoundland water test.
Yes.
That's a mouthful. But I'm with Laurel now and
Big
with
dogs.
Wrigley.
Boy.
How adorable are you? And many of you might recognize Laurel because she was just on an episode Doggy Dancing with Iggy. And
Yes.
actually, Wrigley also.
Yes, he does. He's not a natural dancer, but he does have his beginner obedience title and his beginner freestyle title.
So we got a little bit of that
A little bit of
dancing.
everything.
But today he really excels in his water skills. He's not taking part
No.
in this, I say a competition, but in these round of tests because you're so heavily involved. But we wanted to talk to you, Laurel, because first of all, thank you for inviting us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because it's so amazing.
Thank you for your
But we
interest,
wanted to
yes.
talk about the breed. It's such a diverse breed,
Yes.
yet not as popular as, maybe like a Lab or a German Shepherd, but gaining in popularity.
Right.
So what don't we know about a Newfoundland?
Well, Newfoundlands are wonderful dogs. They have great temperaments. They're great with children. Their temperaments are really what makes it a breed. They're very mild. They're very intelligent, but they were bred to be independent thinkers so that they could make their own decisions when they're out working. So they're not necessarily always the most obedient or, the most biddable dog. They like to think about something and they can usually figure out a good way to do it, even if it's not the way you'd like to have them do it.
Well, I know how that feels with my dog. But what's interesting is they can be so focused, especially here as we're watching today, on these tests. They like laser focus on whether it's a victim there, whether it's an item in the water, whether it's the boat. So is that really innate?
That's pretty much innate. There's a lot of instinct there. Water work is a combination of training and of instinct. We rely on the dog's natural instinct, and then we train them the behavior so that they learn to stay focused on an item or to complete the task the way they should. It's a little bit of both.
And I know we talked earlier and we learned that many Newfies are used actually as lifeguards in some places.
Yes,
So-
in Europe they're still used as lifeguards. They work the beach. One of my dogs way back when, who was on one of your earlier shows, his brother was actually a lifeguard in France, on a beach of France.
Unbelievable. So they have that independence, yet they have that focus.
Right. They have webbed feet so that they can swim in the water more easily. Also, their coat is very water resistant, which keeps them a little bit buoyant. Actually, their entire structure is built around their ability being able to swim well in water, as well as pull carts. These dogs are dual purpose. They have to be able to have strong fronts for swimming and strong rears for hauling carts, and they're just kind of a great
very
all-purpose
sturdy.
beach dog. Very sturdy.
Now I noticed that there are different colors here today.
Yes, they're predominantly black. However, you also have the white and black, which is normally called Landseer, after a painter in the 1800s, Edwin Landseer.
Oh, wow.
But you also do find browns and grays.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it really varies.
There's 4 different acceptable colors.
And do they all drool?
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. They are very, very sweet temperaments. They're a wonderful dog. They have a great sense of humor. They love to pull tricks on you. But they drool, they shed.
Okay.
Everybody, they are very sweet. Wrigley also works primarily as a pet therapy dog. That's what his major career is. And people love him. He loves it. But yep, they drool, they shed.
And we should mention, not only does he do therapy and the dancing and the water tests, he also does other things as well. You have him involved in so many different activities, and really that shows the diversity.
They really are diverse. He has a title in AKC as an advanced trick dog. He does rally, which is a type of obedience. They are versatile, and it's great. You can keep them busy, keep them happy, and they love it.
He's also so patient because you're involved in so many different therapies. You go help people at schools, you're always out there, and it's just really, it speaks of the breed.
Well, they are great for that. They are great for pet therapy. We primarily work with college students, which is a very unique population to work with, but he is also part of the Connecticut Animal Assisted Crisis Response Teams. So we go in not as first responders, but as second responders or third responders to aid people that have been victim to some sort of hazard.
Amazing. Not only are you wonderful, Laurel, because you know we adore you, but it's such a wonderful breed. We're just surrounded by them today, and they're just so great. I'm blown away. So, Laurel, how can somebody find out more about the club, about maybe being involved with the water tests, or maybe finding out more about the breed?
They can certainly check our website. And we do have events throughout the year in New England. We have winter walks, we have fall draft events, we have all sorts of fun days for people to meet the dogs. There's just all kinds of fun events you can meet these dogs at.
Fantastic. I think he wants to go swimming. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This has been so great. Again, this is Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, and don't forget, please, to follow us on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, and of course on My TV9. We're in Connecticut, and we're so proud we love Connecticut. And thank you all for joining us.